My brother.
Hey,
my dog Marcus. What's good, bro? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Come in, man. Come in.
Well, welcome, guys. Before we really get going here, welcome back to the sit down. This is episode 11 now, 11.1, and I'm here with my good friend Marcus.
How y'all doing?
Me and Marcus, we have a funny kind of backstory. We go way back. So I actually met Marcus. Marcus, you still work at Chick-fil-A, right?
I do.
I used to go to Chick-fil-A a lot.
So,
like three times a week.
That's a fact.
It's bad because where I work at, the Chick-fil-A is like right across the street. I can see his building from my place and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I used to not meal prep or do any of that stuff. So I used to be over at Chick-fil-A all the time.
Grubbing.
I literally used to tell my patients that I was sponsored by Chick-fil-A because I could tell them everything on the menu, all the ingredients. It was too much.
Yeah.
It was too
He was a fiend, yo.
It was too much. But what I think we could do to get started, Marcus, is just you kind of give a little bit of a backstory and kind of give a little bit of a background, for the people that are watching. Because not everybody knows you like I know you.
Yeah.
And even I don't know you that well.
Yeah.
Right? The conversations that we've been able to have are limited in a sense.
That's true.
Right? Because you're always working.
Yeah.
So, the conversations usually have to be short. Because how that place is. That place never stops.
That place is busy, man. If you get caught lacking, it can flip on you quick.
I'm saying, yeah. So get the people at home kind of a little background on you, man.
So, like you said, my name is Marcus. My last name is Terminus. My family is from Haiti. My mom is from like a certain part, Akaye, and my dad's from the capital. They moved here late 1990s, I want to say, in the area, 2000 area. So I was born and raised in Boyne, so I've been here my whole life, which is pretty cool. 22, I got my AA already at Palm Beach State. I played basketball. I got to do some stuff with that. I got to travel to a couple states and check out some teams, which is pretty cool. I went to Minnesota. Minnesota's really nice though. Like the weather there is really, really relaxed. Like you would love to be there all the time, and the people are extremely friendly.
That's what I heard. It gets cold here.
Oh yeah, I'm talking. I was in Minneapolis,
right,
where it gets cold. So it was cool. It was a Christian college, North Central. That's the name of the school.
Okay, and then you went there for basketball.
So I was going to go, but it was Division III, and the thing about Division III is they don't give athletic scholarships.
Gotcha.
So everything is
a walk-on.
No, there's no scholarships at all for athletes.
Really?
You have
so
to
you
get,
just try out?
You got to get grants and other stuff like that. So yeah, so there's no really scholarships and stuff. And it was nice, but because of that, like I was still gonna have to come out of pocket a bit. And I was like, I know the caliber player that I am, and I know that I can get my education paid for. So this route wasn't necessarily it. So I was like, okay, I turned down that offer, and then I went back to the drawing board. I played post-grad. So post-grad, we played at Game Changers Academy. Shout out to Coach Sermon, doing everything. Literally, man was up at 4 o'clock every morning, making sure we worked hard and gave us opportunities. I was able to go to South Georgia Tech and get a visit there. Jay Crowder actually went to that school, believe it or not.
Okay.
So Jay Crowder went there, and I couldn't sign there because I graduated. I was going to graduate. I had 4 classes left, and he didn't want me to play half the season. So unfortunately, like
4 classes?
Yeah, bro. Cause after December, what would I do?
Yeah.
So I'd play 10, 15 games, maybe 12 games, and
then you should be sitting around there.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'd be off. I'd be leaving campus, and also what he also did say is that I could have potentially backtracked too. So some of my credits would have transferred, so I had to redo school and classes.
Gotcha.
I was not trying to do that. So yeah, so basketball is definitely a big thing in my life. I go to church. I just came from church, as you can see.
Looking dapper.
I'm also the drummer for my church at Palm Springs Baptist, which is really cool. I've been there for 17 years. So yeah, I've been there since I was 5. So.
Hot minute, What?
So, that's a little bit about me, man. I love life, I try to take as much as I can from anybody, or at least primarily like people who have years of experience on me, not just 1 or 2 years, but like 4, 5, 6 years of experience over me, because those guys have gone, or women as well, have gone and experienced life, and there's so much you can learn from that. And experience is the best teacher, so you gotta definitely take what you can.
That's it.
Be open to it.
Now, Marcus, let's dive into that a little bit, because that mindset, that's a really good mindset to have. It really is.
Yeah.
But that's a learned mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't just wake up one day and have that. So, you know, for you, were there some experiences for you that really helped develop that sort of mindset to try to tap into the resources of an elder mind, right? Of people that have experiences and things that you don't.
Yeah.
You know, did you have like any experiences there that kind of built that for you?
I had a couple. The biggest one, I mean, one of the biggest ones for like experience-wise was just looking at my brothers, and because my brothers are all older than me, I'm the youngest boy, and just looking at what they went through and like what it was like for them and how my parents reacted to their situations and what I could try to do to make it different, you know? So one of my brothers actually got kicked out of the house when he got a tattoo, and he, you know, it was a rebellious stage.
That's a Haitian household right there.
Well, it was a rebellious stage.
What?
But the thing about it is, my brother has always been somebody about truth. So in the Haitian culture, right, for example, like there's things that that we adapt to. Like, I'm a younger generation Haitian. I was born in the United States, in the Americas, and they weren't. So they're so accustomed to however the Haitian culture is, adapting is either not going to happen or takes forever to happen.
Sure.
So that's the thing that I personally battle with right now. And that's why, like, my brothers is very key, very big, because, like, listen, we're going to stand on truth no matter what. And a lot of, especially my mom and dad, they'll see one thing and they just run with that. As opposed to getting the whole picture and seeing everything and then finding the truth within the whole story, not just half.
Okay.
Not just picking one side.
Interesting.
So, yeah, my brothers are a big factor. I mean, even the way I dress, for example. I was going into college and I went in with some gym shorts and a t-shirt.
Right.
And some slides, and I was like, man, I'm going to college now, I don't even care, blah, blah, blah. And I went to orientation like that. Or I was late to orientation too. Matter of fact, my first semester, late to orientation, very bad start. And my brother picked me up, he looked at me, he was like, bro, you're a slump. Like, no, you're not gonna get anything you want out of college. And from literally from that day I sat in the car, the next paycheck I went out, got some new clothes, got some new shoes, and made sure that every time I stepped out, I was presentable. And just from that, it wasn't even like to get attention from like females per se, but when I was like, if I talk to older guys or older women, just to have a conversation, they respect me more because I carry myself to a certain standard.
Yep.
That's another experience is why when my brothers are a key instance, you know. So when I interact with other people and they're like, wow, a lot of people say that I have an old school heart, or I'm very old school stylish, or I have an old school talk or whatever. And it's because I grew up around the OGs, the old cats, my whole life.
Yep.
And when I came back down to like people my age or whatever, they just like, oh, you're different, you're weird about, and I'm like, nah, like life is gonna hit us, and when it does, I'll probably be more prepared than you guys are, because I'm willing to sit down and learn from the older cats and just listen.
Yep.
You know, and that was big, and then being observant is my newest thing though. Being observant, very observant.
It's funny, you know, because Marcus, a lot of the things you had said right there, I can relate to 100%. Yeah. Because for me, same thing as you, Marcus. You know, growing up, being the youngest, I have an older brother too. He's 34. You know, and I just turned 26, and you know, so we have that 8-year age gap. And similar to you, Marcus, you know, it's one of those things. I would look at what my brother would do, see the reaction, see the response of my parents, and then either try to emulate or try to do something different than that, based off of what the response was. And it's so important because it's that whole concept of learning from your mistakes, right? Yeah. And the cool thing about it is that we got blessed to not have to make the mistakes. We can watch our brothers make the mistakes for us. Yeah. And then we hopefully will learn from that so we don't replicate it. Yeah. Right? And it's so funny, especially, let's kind of go into, or all kind of go into, that whole thing you talked about, the appearance. You know, the appearance is important. Yeah. Because that's the first impression that you make on somebody. That's a fact. The visual representation is important. Right? Obviously, it's not the only thing that matters, but it's very important. A lot of people won't talk to you based because you look a certain way. Unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation now. And I'm not even talking about color. That's a whole different conversation. But we're talking strictly just based off of like clothing. Yeah. You know, and general appearance, it's so important, you know, because like for me, my mindset, Marcus, and I'm sure you as well, you always want to be at your best because you never know, you might never know, you might meet somebody that might have a huge impact in your life that you had to impress that day without you even knowing. You never know who you're gonna meet. You always have to be prepared. You always have to be ready. I never leave the house in slides. I always would dress.
Really?
Always. Always. Because it really is true.
No,
you
that's
never
a fact.
know.
Yeah.
You never know, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna miss out on something that could change my life because I wanted to be lazy. I just won't do it.
That's true. Okay.
I won't do it. Okay. You get what I'm saying? But you said the same thing. I just said it in a different way.
Yeah. No.
You know
I mean, I leave in slides on rare. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say rare occasions. Like, if I'm going to the store, I need to knock something out. But that's another thing I just learned right now. Like, I may encounter somebody, and I don't know who they are. You're right. I just may think that, oh yeah, another Walmart guest, another Publix guy, another guy at the gas station. It could be the CEO of a big company looking for somebody. You know, you never know. So that's big. And I at least try to, when I leave, wear some shoes, wear some sneakers, look presentable.
Exactly right.
You know, comfy, presentable, not lazy. Like, oh yeah, tank top.
Right. It doesn't mean you have to go out in a tie.
Yeah. But presentable.
Exactly right. You know, I would say this. You know, hold yourself to a standard that's high, right? Yeah. We're $1 million men right now, right? In the sense of, you know, we're working on that $1 million mindset. Yeah. We need to carry ourselves as such. Yeah. Why are you gonna have $1 million mind and dress like a $10 person?
It's true.
You know, and obviously it doesn't mean you go buy Gucci, Prada, all that stuff is for the birds, to be honest with you.
That's a fact.
But I'll say this, all the people that have money don't ever want you to know they have money.
No, not at all.
It's the people that flaunt it, that try to put it in your face, that try to show off. They don't got it. They don't got it. It's all a front.
Yeah.
It's all of it, and it's
bad.
I think it was Warren Buffett. He drove a 1987 Corolla for like 25 years after he had been like a multi-millionaire.
I mean, that's the thing though. Like, especially like I know some people around the world are wealthy and whatever, and I don't even want to make it like a racial thing, but you can see that they're like guys of my skin color when they get, because money's not natural for us, right? You know, we don't always what's the word for it? When you pass it down, we don't always inherit money.
Sure.
Okay, we don't always inherit money, so when we get it, it's like a flaunt, you know. And my biggest thing though, which kind of messes with me all the time, is we as the minority want to come up together, but when you get it, you flaunt it right back in the minority face, which makes no sense. You get what I mean? Like you're not helping the situation. We're glad that you're successful. We're glad you're making money. We all want to do the same thing.
Exactly.
We all want to be on the map and not be the minority. We all want to see change, but seeing change and being changed are two different things.
Oh, very much so.
Two different things. So I know the guys who have the Gucci, the Prada, the Balenciaga.
We all do.
You know, and I mean, them boys are lavish. Do I have any? I still love them boys the exact same, but I can't condone in every activity that they do, is because I know me personally, I could have $1 million saved up. I'm not the type to flex $1 million. I'm not the type to flex a whole bunch of 20s, a whole bunch of hundreds, but that's not me. It's never been me. When you see me, you see me, you know? And then you'll see you'll see where I'm at, what I've been doing, like that's just how I am. I don't like to go ahead and brag about everything. That's a lot of energy for me, and I feel like it creates a lot of tension.
No doubt.
A lot of tension and problems that you don't want. More money, more problems, only comes because you decide to do all this excess with your money.
Yes.
You do too much with it. Yes, more money, you're gonna have more responsibilities. You have the opportunity to get more stuff, but if I have $1 million, that doesn't mean I have to go buy a $500,000 house. I can buy a $200,000 house, a $100,000 house, pay it off. I can buy a $20,000 car that's gonna last me for 20, 30 years instead of, I feel like buying a Ferrari today. I don't need to do that. But the stigma is, the routine is, if you got a lot of money, you gotta make it look like you got a lot of money. It's not how it should be.
Which is a shame, and It's so funny you brought that up, Marcus, because Mel, from my last episode, she had talked about something that her professor had talked about when she was in school. He said that integration of the black community with the white community was the worst thing that ever happened to the black community in human history. And you know, I was confused by it. Mel was very confused by it, and then Mel told me this. He said, because it wasn't until the black community integrated with the white community where they started to try to keep up with the Joneses. The problem with that is that we're not starting on level playing fields. I'm starting 10 steps ahead of somebody like yourself, Marcus, in life, period. I understand that. But the problem is that in order for you to keep up, you have to make up that 10-step difference to start, to even get to level ground before you can even try to keep up.
That's a fact.
So it's awful, because I can't blame anybody for doing that. Because when you're deprived of something your whole life, and you finally get it, not only do you not have the training and the education because you've been there before, because you have not, you also are so excited that you got there that you do want to let people know. You do want that recognition, which is human nature. It's normal.
That's true.
It's normal. I mean, I've fallen guilty of it once or twice. Of course, I think everybody has.
Yeah,
it happens.
absolutely.
It happens.
Absolutely.
But it's a tricky thing. You know, it's a tricky thing when it comes to that dynamic, right? Of leveling the playing field. You know, because it's, will it ever be level? I'm not sure. I
mean, in a perfect world, yes. But because cycles are always going to happen, things are always going to be the way they are, it's not. And it's funny that you mentioned it, like the we all want to share with the world, which is good. But this morning, our pastor was talking about a kid who gave out his valedictorian speech. And he was, I guess, when he got called for the valedictorian, he got up, he was excited, and it lasted for 15 seconds. Now, use that same analogy when you flaunt to the world and you're telling everybody about your success. Okay, yay, you made $1 million. That lasts for a week. Congratulations, on to the next thing. That's exactly what I told my brother, like, yesterday. Like, people are going to make achievements. Oh, yeah, you did this. On to the next thing. Yeah, you did this. And that's looking at, like, worldly achievements. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I want to make $1 million. Yes, I want to have a big house or, like, a couple cars, a family, and all that.
Of course.
But I ultimately understand, though, that, like, especially in the way I believe, and, like, especially, Christian, in the afterlife and heaven and hell, those things don't get to come with me. So, treating them as temporary, because that's what they are, is what I need to do. Understanding that I need it to, like, for earth, I need it for here and everything, but when I die, it's not gonna be like, all right, cool, so how much money did you save up? You have $1 to your name. The fee to getting that, there's no fee to get it. You feel me? The price has been paid. If for everybody who believes what we believe, the price has been paid. We
already have our seats reserved.
And that's it. So now it's about going out and doing life with people like you and I, And if we're going back to, like, keeping up with the Joneses, and I told you about seeing change or wanting change and being changed, two different things, that's why I am the way I am. Because I want to be changed. Everybody wants to see change, but be it. Go ahead and start implementing it. It's a different environment. Very different. I don't know if you know, I didn't even tell you. So I'm off social media. I got off of both social medias.
Really?
Instagram and Snapchat. I've been off for 2 weeks now, and I have no craving to go back right now.
Good for you.
And the reason being is just, if you look at what social media is, yes, it is news. It's valid. You get news, but news with
at what price?
That, and, like, all the comments, all the negativity, all of this, all of that. And then we have, freely speak your mind. And when you speak your mind, you get bashful and all. So it's, what can we do on social media? What can we do in general? We have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is not violated. If you speak about certain thing, you have your own opinion, you get bashed, hated, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. For what? No reason. It's unnecessary. So I took my time off of social media, one, because of negativity, and two, was time consuming. I needed to get, like, on my boss life. I needed to step everything up. So I took time away from social media so that I could start cracking down and being more productive throughout my day. that's why another reason why I took social media away. So like I've been in the gym. I was able to put on 11 pounds of muscle in a couple months. So,
Come on, man.
Yeah, I've been grinding, man. I've been grinding. You know, so I'm able to do that. I've been working at my job, looking, you know, talking about the higher ups, just moving forward with my Chick-fil-A career. Yeah. Planning on going back to school in January, Lord willing, everything works and that. So I'm just really trying to prepare for the future, man, because at 22, a single 22-year-old who I have every opportunity in the world to do, you gotta maximize on what you can.
That's exactly it.
You gotta maximize before it gets too late, and then you're trying to tell your kids, you're trying to tell them, but when they don't see it, it's hard for them to understand. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to, if I were to have kids, that they see the fruition, they see like, okay, this is what he did. He took it early, took advantage, and now by the time he's 26, 28, whatever, he's smooth sailing. Everything else is just maintaining and looking for the next opportunity, you know, and not just trying to get a quick flip. Quick flips don't last. Shortcuts don't last, man. Nope. And that's why I'm in it for the long run. I'm not in it for the shortcuts, man. So
I'll tell you what, that's a hell of a mindset right there. That's a heck of a mindset. And let's cut this episode because I want to go into. Yeah, I think the next time what we'll do is let's go into things. I want to talk about your basketball career. Okay. Right, because I know that has a huge kind of role in your life, and then we gotta talk about Chick-fil-A, bro.
That's good.
We gotta talk about it. But already, y'all, that was episode 10.1 of the sit down.
11.1.
11.1. 11.1 to sit down with my good man Marcus, my brother over here. Episode 2, we're gonna come back. I think we're gonna talk about Marcus's basketball career a little bit, because that has a really big kind of role in his life. Yeah. And you know, that's taken him a lot of different places in life, and you know, we're just gonna let him kind of share some stories and just hear. I know he's got some good ones. So that was it for 11.1 and sit down. Check back in on Wednesday for 11.2. Until then, we'll see y'all.
We'll see you.